shouldn't seek perfections in others. These perfections will find in yourself. Don't attempt thoughts expressed by a loud fuss. By awareness determines being's flame. All that which have had given, by mercy of Supreme Lord with only one reason, to try to pass all without affection and real. Where is my warrior's brigade? Where is the trident battle's flag? Where is my destruer trotter steed? Where is a saber, brave gold steel? And when the same fate would catch me, in readiness to rush in battlefield of greatest spear. Oh, Ramachandra. Spirit wars, indeed. Right now, that flare is shining by the gold. There are the rays of dawn at whole. There are a chance for many all existence's essence ambient. Well, Supreme, can you give me help? Which so I need. Have you listened to those groans, which his tear of my chest hurts? Have you feel my metal bounds, which has bound me around? That brushes and muscles have downed. Don't straighten, annoyed now. Oh, sky of the stars. Oh, the lands of my earth. Oh, water of river, seas, oceans and most. Oh, the marvelous trees and the birds of the dreams. All, you, tell me please, when I can see. When miracle moment to hear my sign. From height of heavens. When wondrous moment to smell of these lights. When portent condescend by a flew of my mind. That's so, I was ready to go, as the same. And now by yours with the army as breath of the flame. I'm a shark among the ocean creatures. I have no materialistic features. But the misery is here, I'm aware. As my soul finds its place everywhere. Everyone has a right to be wrong, but no the same right to fix soul. I would have been a patriot of my heart, whenever through heart I understand this world. Attentively watch into the hymn, by mercy God of yours the trace of him. Not anxious, unworrying in a fuss, in expectations yours, you, should be tolerant and everywhere once. For destinies of loved ideas, yes, the Lord does not disregard friends. In acts of his, he will supply you all, by causeless is his mercy. Devotion service yours, you get secure. On true way will set, by firming hand. Will aim you in the sky, and you will dart off by an arrow, J. With blessing by the sharpest peal of a bowstring. You leaving out into centuries will. Even eternity will sink you till a time. Who knows? As highly past impacts of wave and Y. But maybe you could break through area, all heaven's spheres. And probably at dawn you will be overtaken not from the end. To you to meet you towards with a flickering by love. All will spread it, and you will thaw in heart. Inhale forever. Those beauty. Once and for all. However, his arrival of that dawn is timely at once, and never for certain, and hardly for show round. Oh, nobody can recollect dawn's shape, though all in bustle, by trying reminding those a wonderful instant, but in her heart, deeply inside, bygone has long been frozen despair shout and cry. Though coolest favors only has for us today, so marvel whose give chance to pure reach release your inner life away. Nothing want about anything thinking, nothing keep for remember and dream. Just I want only thoughtfully listen. Silence comes. By the hush contemplate. With beholds contemplating be drowned. In despair of our injury. From the quietness take no mission. From inaction, best inheritance fee. Humans should get used to this thought, that they wasn't same ones. As they perceive themselves, notes, and their material desires, charm. It's just simply prejudices, which are imposed by those who never give unraveling the mystery. Those, they are fallen souls. Prakriti Sahajiya, as well known. Always errant in samsara. In a time at once remind about permanence of vagrance. Whole time, moaning it aloud. In this way, enslave the essence. As the sufferers, living beings, by the captive of false ego, evil forces speculate, using sufferers as hostage, in exchange for benefits, from Supreme Lord, which eager, as they easiest, get themselves. With the slogan, hook or by crook, that's approaches of the rules. So, the spiritual liberation from the Vedic story stream, which about of Shashapala, Dashagriva Ravan's theme, in ignorance circle perceived, as a guide to action seems. They are trying to control the Supreme Lord, but all of them unable to control himself, even thoughts. What do we expect from those invisible hand, which want to get on the role of God, sign of idiots? Time to time they will try to invert world's people's minds into their primitive frameworks. But by the way, to say they can't, to guess the essence of the nature of their being, in a fact. Sadly in this world to live, listening babble of fear, lie. Under grief there or no, it's a lot of emptiness world. People are closed and around, also plunge himself in circle own. Of the envy, a deceit, egoism bhava it is means. Turning all around indeed, in again samsara's ring. Is it lot of use from this, Prakritasahanjiya steps insist. What by ever then results? Not the riddle, world has falls. By the nothing pay attention in a real. Difficult to me to give approved for dirty world scheme. Yes, I know that opposites of forces aren't the same. But my inner soul shouts, go again. Fighting, that all force yours as you might, and you capture island in among. Mlekas and Chanel's pieces dream. Forcing them to serve by each of him, For the back team may have awful just I think. Who knows what is it means, Prajhalpa? Whoever seen a flash of drafty blowing wind? The spirit's riddle, who can guess with solving? If riddles woven by an Arthur's ring. It seems we have a nice purification, sadhana, our effort to perform. And our dharmas, we forgetting never, however often not is suitable when pa. But what's we doing, since the soul is angry? On ourselves by reason of the formal phrase about the glory's devotee and transcendental prima, by aging ritual of duty accolades. Where is the soul that we can name heart of Bhagavana? Where Paramatma, where inner mind? Sometimes have feeling greeting of the God with ocean's bhava, but our views at all around quite oftentimes. The views from own standpoint of our prophet, the prophet, which don't find in our respective. Then let me ask Supreme, whether there is, in us an outside chance that you should give your mercy to empower living beings, Almighty. Oh, merciful Mukunda of the three worlds space, where absorbed knowledge from the sacred suffers, where to go, with whom to administer affairs, for opening a trusted wisdom sphere, to whom can touch with heart most fortify, whom I should support and maintain relations, with whom together should be hopes to strength. Believe me, sometimes awful scary, from this fanatically's overview. Not backed by pure lore, assay ideas, from monotonous, unnecessary skew. Still stored to smash the people's minds, which seem to join to timeless knowledge, to science of sacred Vedas guides, but by that time they still are scurrying in worldly cares by karma trail, though everything is not so spooky. Ultimately, the warriors are all, and thanks by Sri Mukunda, that I, nomad, and no one crowd, by causeless mercy I am you. In liberating teachings Veda, hereinafter in any battle round, I never looking substitution to my founts. As loneliness, my nature's proud, as my nomadic forebears weren't looking for, on raids, when crushing ranks of enemies, and deeper conquering by ascetic skills, those inconceivable hatred foes. The human race had went too far, gone so, that only in war they all find treatment score. As a result, for our global history, that's all. Why retrace a list of world powerful persons, being that inaccessible, a relative term? For those who thinks the unreachable stages, there is one in nature's unpredictable rule. Any with hardiness who beating his chest, so has Providence be ruined since under the storm. Will suffice to wander an ocean of madness, it's time to realize for what you were born. Listening to music of a rustle of leaves, stars are beheld in the sky of the moon. And what's a soul's reason for really being, by tossed, twitch and gloomy bedridden again? The thoughts somewhere leave, and a time is a real. Together with you the sea leaves also still. What is remains? All the world on arena. Bustle of drudge and empty idleness, all which is paying for this here aims. And joining again. Hey, dark's powers, you can't to compel in life tearing off us. From inner own world, transcendental of life's pieces, By mercy of Lord Tengri at once. Or Lord Sri Kashapa, Sri Sankar Shanna, or Lord Sri Vamana, Sri Trivikrama. But just and simply by Allah, or Buddha, or by Sri Govinda, Sri Narasimha. It is Allah names whose supreme conduct, which has been shown by his love and an impulse, outside of material burden, but pains, outside of desire and voluptuousness ring, but by his compassions. With feasible concern, we feel his respect to all essence of being, is equal as sunlight in foul or bad weather. The wind through a calm gets by absolute power, that transcendental strength forces to power.
We are the warriors, by warriors who'd come in here. Let's staying as strugglers up to dawn, until despite of fear. Well, so, supreme divine grace will judge by fires now. What kind of destiny, whose turn and choice of lot in real? By only party hardly can define a rock fate's dare, when unfold hearts. In front of all attractive eyes Govinda, which exuding love. Whatever the all kind of sentence ever, by goodness into each of any other human. The Lord Mukunda who has come bailed it all.
Yes, let's join hands spiritual brothers, harsh descended by shelter nomads. So, that marvelous song of silence should be broken mundane gates of fuss. How long does it we should measure, which allotted to us in the way? How much force by humility verify, many suffering endure on way. Morning sunrise over the steppe hills, dust still whirls over feather grass. Well, baiters, it's a time to set forward, take a wind of home blaze sabers at once. Long time waiting is nothing for truly, hours providence when flashing arrive. And enlightenment spills over hedgerow, darkness, ignorance streams out to leave. Since then, entering in a battle, with a full heart of passion's covets, we can sense the motion of universe, their integrity of truth absolute. Time of childhood and youth all have taken, whole for time is never returned. But the moment of battle, fate have turned, draws by same path of lang syne we walked, by which went once again, any person who did not take seriously at all. This one question that issue from heart place, and the answer not easy for soul. That's what our proportion of lifetime, world still noising full under the skies. Clouds have tightened to night coolness heaven, breeze by freshness blows circle abounds. With the moonlight you feel in clarity, dreaming thoughts with the calm of the minds. And we never ask rolling through all a day, any realized deals from fixed aims. Just I'm only soldier now, not more other any row. And I don't want any that, which is not need in my fate. But let's give me that is given, yes the favors God I'm feeling. Also I have seen at once, as a right hand his conducts. Me, on a circle destination other round. And yet now, by spiral he conducts, lifts mind consciousness, overturning me coupled with my mind, which is weaved from dough by an outlaw, by the inner sense materialistic life, though has difficult now and then times. This one difficult here's only mine, I am not always ready to a step, so that lifting above me on land, yes to plenty and trouble to leave. With desired my world in a real, but I choose a difficult way. I consider as it is my way. For them for which is disgusting, that the can be is valuable for each, the material world is so silly. if you can't overpower this piece. Yes, my inner jihad is quite woken, and it lives by its freedom, respires itself, and conducts me in infantry Nukanda. Crooked fake standards flying, sign of ages.
It was a difficult way on thin ice, and now, on the sharp razor blade, bleeds out. A target justifies Indian liberation life.
Like in paradise, I'm in a battle, losing and forget myself. Never wishes, no desires, I don't want any that. Only dream by contemplating, with the gleaming saber chop. Have a moving through the foe into a head, therefore that is my dharma calling draws. So, defend me as you can be find the reasoned scheme of my existence time. Asking that, because you want a mine, pleading is about, being that you pain of mine. Have same thoughts, with you forever tied, therefore you, absolute truths of world. Many warriors imbued by thee, and my inner minds, the same. So, I see your substances, and still feel all them, from the fire out, back into the flames. Falling, and then walking firmly on the path, where the sacred knowledge inhales, and establishing himself by supreme of you, on the way, of pure love to you. What I can, that I make, by which helps, I will do. By the chopping through thorns my hands endue, for to them, who needs helps in escape, for the true, and who wants to leave place, from the evil's influence on spiritual ways. By the seeking perfection, who has life by the fly of his inner minds. Those whom I have helped, happiness greeting to them from myself. I just can't to involve, to reach on all the spheres, but I want to at least tidy up in my country at whole and real, should awakes our people. Waves freedom will pour, feeding all of these folks. Inner minds of them turn, by the Bhakti surround. It will be exactly and mainly quite, normal fact. So many once in battle me, so many once in saddle tear. A glimpse of sabers blinding me, that is the war's a fire's tree. Immediate to face, to sear, in scorch by flame engage, can't see. And darkness emptiness has sweep, through moment. I'm back in saddle of the horse to find himself, but doubt has plagued me, some sway. However feeling my sabers brave a joy away, in my insatiable hands, with flying and cry.
Eternity's supreme radiance occurs as under influence at once. When time of being it comes on state of balance, of unity among the start and ending in at last.